Hey everyone, it's Krista from KristaIrene.ca, and today we're going to be painting a Christmas gnome in our Christmas journal. So if you're interested, you can follow along with me and paint a Christmas gnome. So the first thing I'm going to do is just grab any old brush, and well, this one's a flat brush, but I'm going to just start by painting actually the hat, and I'm going to paint it not that large because I don't want it to take over the whole page, but a hat, just a triangle. And this is supposed to be red, but looks a little pink, but that's okay because I'm going to be painting over it. And for this gnome, I am going to have his hat kind of curl up. So again, I'm just doing the general shape, and this is your art journal. So when you're art journaling, you're just playing around with paint and trying new things. So I'm going to be trying a Christmas gnome. So I have his hat, and that's just a starting point. I'm going to paint his beard gray to begin with because the back of the page is white, so I don't really, it'll get lost in that. So just gonna do, and I want to leave room for his nose and his cheeks. So I'm leaving a little space there, and I'm just flicking the brush. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, you know, expensive brushes. And I know I'm using a really cheap brush here because I could kind of feel it, but if you're just starting out, and you can just get paintbrushes from the dollar store, then that's fine. You could still paint. You could still do some nice paintings. So I'm just sort of, but it does, like this one's probably not gonna, this paintbrush is probably not gonna last that long. So that's his beard to begin with. The next phase is his outfit. And again, we're just playing around with paint. I wanted green, and somehow I think my green is lost in here, so I'll just open some paint. I'm gonna squeeze this out. Oh, came flying out. And I'm just gonna sort of go right down from the beard. And I'm not even putting his arms on yet. And again, this is the first sort of layer, so I am going to be painting over it. But this, and it could just be like an oval shape, sort of. It's got his little coat on. And then his arms are going to sort of, I want him sort of holding something. So I'm just kind of giving the shape of holding something. And sometimes I paint it a little too wide, but that's okay because when I paint the background, I'll sort of shape it how I want it. So for now, that's just his little outfit. The next thing I'm gonna do is his boots, and those are gonna be black. And I want his boots to, so I'm just gonna, I hope you can see that. I hope I have the bottom of the page. Let me check to see if I'm, oh yeah, okay, you can see it. And his little boots, you could do like that, but I want his boots to curl up. So that's, I'm doing like a little, I'm doing the shape of a boot. And then just a little curl. And the curls don't have to be perfect. When I look at the shape of his hat, I feel like it should be a little bigger just because of his body. So I am dipping into the red, and I'm just gonna sort of go right over his head because I know that the hat is gonna sort of go over his head. And so I'm making his hat a little bit bigger. If anyone tells you that painting does not have an ugly phase, they are wrong. Every painting has sort of an ugly phase. So you just keep going regardless. You just keep going and you just keep working on it. So those are the buttons for his little jacket. I'm gonna sort of just do a little outline for his hat here. Just right there. I'm gonna do his cheeks next. So for his cheeks, I'm getting just like a peachy color. And I'm gonna just do a circle and a circle because that's where I want his cheeks to be. And then I'm gonna do his nose. He's starting to look cute. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work on his little hat a little bit and sort of give it a little more shape. I feel like it needs to be almost looking witchy, but I'm just gonna leave it, and I'll shape it when I do the background. So I have a whole bunch of paint brushes, and I just sort of pick whatever one I feel like working with. And the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a little pink, like a lightened pink, on his nose, but not his whole nose, just sort of, and then the tops of his cheeks, like the sides, give him a little color there. And I'm gonna go back in with the black, and you kind of want a small brush for this because you're gonna be doing his eyes. So I'm gonna go back in with the black, and I'm just gonna do like his eyes are gonna be closed. I don't want to spend time making him have open eyes, so I'm just gonna do like a little line there. And then I'm gonna give him a little mouth, and he's gonna be like a little happy gnome. So that's his mouth for now. I know he's looking a little strange because his arms are kind of missing, but that's okay. I'm gonna go back in with the white, and we're gonna work on his beard a bit. And we're just gonna flick the paint down. Giving him a little beard. And you just sort of do it till you think it looks good. Every gnome is going to look different. And I'll probably go over this again, especially when his face dries a little bit, but I'm going to go right in there because he has a mustache, right? And I like the thick paint because it gives it, you can give it some lines. So I'm just going to go in and play with that beard. And I know some of the green is coming through, and again, you can get your hairdryer out and you can dry the painting a bit before you start on the next layer. But because I'm doing this for YouTube and I'm trying to make my videos fast in 20 minutes, I don't spend the time drying, and I also don't mind the mess because it's just my art journal. So there he is there. I really feel like I need to fix his arms, and I really wanted him to be holding something, so I'm gonna try to bring his arms down, like that's his arm. He's a hefty gnome. Okay, there we go. I might make his jacket a little bit. He's kind of cute. I think he's looking good. So in order to shape his body a bit, I'm going to dip into some dark blue. And I'm actually just gonna sort of outline it. And I'm gonna try to make this not look as witchy. There. So I just sort of painted over that part. And I'm gonna paint over this part too, because I didn't like the way that looked, the way the hat was. So I'm just taking my time and going over the hat, like around the hat. And the thing about acrylics is, if you're not painting too thick, they do dry pretty fast. It's easy to paint over it. So if you make mistakes, you can paint over it. And since this is an art journal and you're practicing, it's really just for fun. So I know he's looking a little odd here. His arm is a little odd, so I'm just kind of going around to try to make his arm less. There. Just trying to shape that a little bit. I love dark blue, so. And I'm trying to make his body a little more in line with his head shape. And I'm going right by the shoes. I'm not going to go down here because that's where snow is going to be. There's going to be snow there. So I kind of like the way that looks. Oh, good. I have my blue here. So I'm going to get more blue, and I'm just going to go around. I always put parchment paper underneath my art journal page so that it doesn't leak through. I like messy painting too, so I kind of like the marks that it makes when I'm just sort of throwing the paint on there. Okay. I feel like I've done enough here. So the next thing I'm going to do in the art journal is some snow. And since the page is white, I'm going to get some gray and mix it with some white and just do like a little bit of gray snow. And I know it's going to pull into the blue, and that's fine because I'm going to paint white over it anyway because he's standing in the snow. And I'm just going around his shoes. There we go. Kind of making his feet a little bit smaller to be more in line with the size of his body. And that's the fun thing about acrylic paint. It's not the same as watercolor. And with watercolor, a lot of times you'll draw the picture first and then paint it. But I kind of like I like the messy marks. I like when the paint blends with the other colors. I prefer that over perfect painting. So now I feel like there's some good distinction here, so I'm gonna put some white, some snow along here. And I'm kind of making it wavy. I kind of like the way he's looking. I think his hat needs a little bit of work. Maybe his hands will just be in his pockets. So I want to get a darker green for that. I thought I had a darker green here, but I don't. So I'm going to use a lighter green for his coat. And since I already have white, that's good. I'm just going to take the dark green. You can see I use a baking pan from the thrift store for my paints. Maybe I'm just going to mix it in with that gray a little bit, and I'll do like a pocket here, and his hands can just be in his pocket. And I'm just sort of trying to outline it a bit. This might be where his jacket creases, where his arms are. Blending it in a bit. I'm not sure if that's gonna work. I might have to give him some hands. So if you're gonna give him hands, you're gonna wanna wait for that paint to dry there. And I know what I wanted to do. I like this dark pink acrylic paint, and I'm gonna play with this hat a little bit, just to sort of give it a little more depth. And again, I'm pulling in the blue, which is fine. I'll just paint over it. Might need some red mittens. So I'm gonna take the red I had. I'm gonna try not to go over the button just because the paint is wet. And those are his little thumbs. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use some white, and I'm going to put just some dots of snow there. And you can do whatever you want with this snowman. You can have snow, you can make it a lighter blue if you want. I kind of like the way this dude is looking. Now, if I was really, it's like I want to put a candy cane in his little hands, and I might do that. I don't know how it's going to look. We will see. I'm going to make it sort of a pink candy cane just because I have so much red going on there. So I'm just going to, hopefully that black is dried. I know this black isn't dry, but what I'll do is this. And then I'm just going to hope for the best. Not too bad. Again, a hairdryer is a really great tool to have when you're painting with acrylics, because you can dry your paint. And again, because this isn't about being perfect, it's an art journal page, and you can spend an hour doing this versus, 20 minutes. I don't even know where I'm at with the time. Let's see. Oh, I can't tell. Oh, I'm at 19 minutes. Oh, I'm doing good. Okay. So I think that's where I'm going to stop for now. I would love to add a little gold, but do I have the gold? I do have a little gold, so I have a little bit of time. And I love adding gold to all my paintings, so I take a small brush and I just dip it in. I use the golden. This is my favorite gold. And I'd probably just, just put it around. My little snowman. My little gnome, and add some little highlights to it. Might even add little balls on his feet. Don't necessarily like it on his sleeves. So I'll just take a little green. Oh, I don't know if I have any green. There we go. And where did I put it? I might. So that's my gnome, and I think I'm going to wrap it up. But, you know, 20 minutes isn't a long time for painting. You can spend an hour and play with it and have fun, but that's just a basic little Christmas gnome for the holidays. I hope you guys enjoyed, and see you next time. Bye.